Hi friends, glad you joined me today. We're going to make fruit pizzas today. Maybe you've made this before, but it's really fun. And if you're an artist, you'll especially love decorating it. I'm so glad you came. My hands are clean. Go and wash yours because we're going to be touching lots of things that you'll want to share. Okay, if your hands are washed and dried, then we're ready to start. Here's what you'll need. A plastic knife to cut fruit up, a small cutting board, some flour, just a little bit of flour to put on your rolling pin that you'll need, some Reynolds wrap to cover your cookie sheet. Then choose, and I of course have my spatula and all my stuff. You'll need some powdered sugar, some butter, and some cream cheese and vanilla. Instead of making my sugar cookie from scratch, I bought the tube of sugar cookie, and that was on your recipe of ingredients to get at the store, because I thought that would be easier for you than to have to make a sugar cookie from scratch. I love to make sugar cookies. They're one of my favorites, but I thought this was the easiest thing for us to do. So let's get started. When you go to the store, choose 5 of your favorite fruits. Some people may love kiwi. Some people may love bananas. I chose blueberries and raspberries and grapes, purple grapes without seeds, an apple, which Ruby is standing here hoping to get a piece of, and strawberries. I love fruit, but those are 5 of my fruits. Here, Rube, you want a piece of apple? Can you sit? Can you sneeze? Oh, thank you. Good job. Okay, Ruby always sneezes when she really wants what you have. If you just have a plain old treat, she's not interested. Okay, first thing we're going to do with clean hands, take your rolling pin and put just a little bit of flour on it. Rub it all up and down. Why do we put flour on our rolling pin? We do that so that the dough won't stick. And then you're going to roll it out. I put Reynolds wrap on my cookie sheet because later on I'm going to lift that up and I'll move it, and it'll be so much easier. Always put the non-shiny side of your Reynolds wrap up next to your cooking, whatever you're cooking. One time I didn't do that, and I was making something at church for somebody, taking dinner to them, and I could taste the shininess of the Reynolds wrap. I didn't like it. So roll that dough out. Now we're not going to make a huge pizza. We're going to make a small one, but you could use the whole roll of cookie dough. I'm just using a half. You can make the whole roll and make a great big pizza if you were serving your family or if you were taking this to somebody's house. This would be a fun thing to make for 4th of July. You could use red and blueberries and strawberries, reds and blues fruits, and take it, and it'd be so fun. Nice and it'd be yummy. It can be a dessert. In fact, it is more like a dessert because it's cookie dough. This is cookie dough, sugar cookie dough. So the base of it is, if you need to, put a little bit more flour on. You don't want your cookie dough to stick to your rolling pin. Whoops, see, look, see what happens? So peel that off and push it back on there. Put a little bit more flour on. Keep flour on that rolling pin so it doesn't stick. How is camp? How is camp? Are you loving camp? Did you love it last week? I hope that you had a great time, that you learned a lot of things about Jesus and that how much he loves you and cares for you. And we got to do so many fun things, and I got to watch the videos that the families made, and they were so precious. I ended up in tears at the end. They were just so sweet. I'm going to get a little bit more flour because it's just a warm day and I don't want that cookie dough to stick. When sugar cookie dough cooks, it puffs up. So that's why I'm rolling it nice and big. Okay. All right, now you could take a saucer and make a little saucer like this and make 4 circles if you wanted to. You could take a bigger saucer and make a bigger one, or you can take like a 6-inch plate. Let's see if I've got this one big enough. Oh, just barely, but I do. Okay, now I don't have a knife. Oh yes, I do. Over here, I see it. Take my plastic knife. And cut around. You're just cutting like you're tracing and getting a nice big pizza shape. Okay? And then you're gonna pull the edges away. Such a warm day, the dough is getting so soft. Gotta be sure and get it off. Might have to take your knife and push your ends in. You can flute your edges, but it puffs up so much that the flute's just, the edge, pretty edge just goes away when it's baking, so I wouldn't waste time doing that. See how warm it is and how the dough has gotten so soft in just the few minutes I've had it out of the fridge. So don't set it out too soon. And like I said, you can make your own dough. If mom has or grandma or dad has a great, or one of your parents have a great recipe for a cookie dough, for sugar cookie dough, you could just make it that way. Okay, so we're going to put this in the oven. The oven's set at 350 preheated, and it's going to cook for 11 minutes. Okay, so our cookie dough is out of the oven, 350 degrees for 11 minutes. You want it just a little golden. Don't let it burn. It won't taste as good. So while it's out, while it was baking, and we didn't, but we could mix up. I used a little over a half of an 8-ounce stick of cream cheese. Okay. I used half of the butter that the recipe called for. I used a little bit, a little less than 1/4 of a cup. And I used a little over a half a cup of powdered sugar. And we're going to, all of that is on the recipe. And then half a teaspoon of vanilla. If you get a little bit more, it's hard to pour the vanilla in and not get too much. Okay, you're ready to go. Okay. Rather than get a mixer out for this, just take and start mixing this up. You could use a spoon. You could use a whisk. You might have to scrape it off a little bit. Whoops. I think I'm going to use the spatula and get it started because it's sticking to the whisk so bad. And then I'll go back to the whisk once we get it going good. Okay, so now I'm going to mix that powdered sugar and the cream cheese. And it may take a little bit of mixing up. Oh, it's going now. And you might think it's mixed, but you want to mix it longer than you think you need to. that look good? I think it does. Now let me go back to the whisk. Scrape off the spatula. Okay. Now we'll mix it really good. I think that's good. Okay. Now we're going to take our spatula. You don't want too much of this. It's kind of rich. So just put like 3 or 4 clumps of this on your baked pizza crust. Okay? Which is your sugar cookie dough. Okay? And then you're going to take a spoon, or you can take a spatula, whatever you want to do. I work best with a spoon. And you're just going to spread it out. Don't make it too thick. You want to taste the fruit. What are your favorite fruits? Some of the things I love cantaloupe and watermelon, but they wouldn't be good on this, I don't think. They make it all watery. I just read an article that tells us how good watermelon is for us. It's just so good for us. It has so many vitamins and healthy things. Okay, so there's our cream cheese. And see, I didn't use it all. I just used some. Now, this is the part you'll love if you're an artist. So, first of all, I've cut my fruit ahead of time, and you might want to do the same. Remember, plastic knife, then you don't have to worry about hurting yourself. Take off the stem on a strawberry. Get that little green part out. I'm going to get a strawberry tool. I just learned they make a new strawberry tool that's wonderful. Maybe your parents have one. I don't. Okay. All right. Then turn your strawberry with its point up and start slicing it. Ruby, do you want a strawberry? Here's a piece. Oh, she loves strawberries too. Okay, let's do one more so you know how to do that. Okay, they've all been washed. You cut off the top, turn it up on its point, and start slicing. Nice thin slices, not too thin because they won't hold their shape. You'll see, you want them to be really pretty. See, that's about as thin as you want them to be. See? Okay, so those are ready. We didn't have to cut our blueberries. We didn't have to cut our raspberries. I did cut the apple. You can see that I cut the apple in little pieces. I cut thin slices, and then I cut those in half. Okay? And then grapes. I've cut my grapes ahead of time, but let's cut a grape together. I did my grapes lengthwise because if you do them the other way, they don't take up as much room on top of the pizza. So let's do it again. Turn it on its end. See where the stem was? And slice down with your plastic knife. You don't have to worry about your fingers. There's my bowl of grapes. Okay, now you get to design your pizza. So let's start with the biggest thing on the outside. So we're going to take our strawberries. We probably got way more than we needed. But I didn't want to have to stop and go back. So let's place them around just so the tip is right even with the edge of the cookie. Ooh, that's pretty. You can make any design you want to. You could just throw it all on if you wanted to, but it's much prettier like this because you're going to slice it in like pie shape. You're going to cut them in little pie shapes. You could turn your strawberries in if you wanted to. You could do them this way. You could do some out, some in if you wanted. However you want. This is your design. This is your creation at this point. If you don't like strawberries, then use other fruit out here. You could do that too. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting all the way around the edge. Have you ever been strawberry picking with your mom or your dad? Oh, that's so fun. Bringing home fresh strawberries, nothing better, nothing better. Okay, now I gotta squeeze them up because I don't have quite enough room. I gotta pick a little one. Here's a little one. I think it'll fit. Almost, not quite, gotta get a smaller one. That's not small enough. Here's a small one. There we go, he fits. All right. Okay, you see we've got our outer edge. Now let's see, our apple is the next biggest thing. So let's do our apples. Let's turn them. Well, that's not gonna work because then they'll be overlapped. Let's just do them the same way, I guess. We won't get as many apples on. How come? Because the space is getting smaller, isn't it? Wouldn't your family love this? Maybe you can think of a neighbor or somebody who needs to be lifted up right now. Maybe they've been by themselves and all of this and they haven't had their family around them and they've been trying to stay well and healthy. You could take this to them. You could take a wedge of it to them, a nice wedge, and share it. God wants us to share our gifts. And if you have a gift of cooking, then you could share this. The apple's not as pretty on here because it is the same color as the cream cheese, but we're gonna overlap something with it, so I think it'll be fine. I'm looking for just the right kind of piece. Here's one. Okay, now, okay. So now let's turn our grapes this way. And remember, this is my design. You can do your design any way you want to. Hold on just a second. Okay, so we've got all of our grapes on. We have our apples. We have our strawberries. So now, let's put on, for me, the raspberries. And I'm gonna put them in these little holes. Raspberries are one of my favorites. And guess who else loves them? Okay, Miss Rube, you ready? Sit, catch it. Oh, good job. Okay. Gosh, I'd love to see your pictures of yours and how they turned out. I know they'll be pretty and yummy. Okay, since I have so many of these, I'm going to fill in between. Okay, scoot them back just a little bit. So now we have on mine strawberries and apple and grapes and raspberries. So now I'm going to put the blueberries on there. I put them right in the middle and just make a big stack of them. And then I have so many that I was thinking, what do you think? I think that I'm going to go right in between. There's not a between on every place, but I'm going to make it as pretty as I can. The picture of the one I saw had kiwis on it. And it had green, and I love the green, but I didn't have any kiwis. Bananas would be good. Pineapple would be good. One more. Okay, I think we got it. Now, you'll put this in the fridge and chill it for, I would say, a couple of hours. Put it on a cookie sheet or put it on something. You want to keep it as flat as you can. The best way to scoot it off of whatever you have it on, if you have it on the cookie sheet, is to slide it real gently off. Put the cookie sheet right beside it and slide it off. Mom or dad or a grandparent might have to help you. Then put it, don't cover it, just put it in the fridge. It'll be fine. And let it chill for a couple of hours. And then when you take it out, you're going to slice it into pie wedges. So cut across it, and then cross it again, and then you should get like 8 slices of that, out of that, or even more if you want small ones. You could do 10, but 8 is probably a good size. So there's our fruit pizza. Isn't it pretty? And see, on the 4th of July, you could use strawberries and raspberries and blueberries and make it so pretty, and it would be a wonderful, nice cold dessert to share with your family and friends if they come over and celebrate our Independence Day. Thank you for joining me. I love baking with you. Take care. Bless each one of you. Enjoy. Bye.